All right. Well, thank you and good evening. And for the viewers who will be watching this on channel Public Access TV, I'm going to call this meeting to order. I'm the town administrator. And the reason I'm calling it to order is because this is the organizational meeting and it's the first meeting after town meeting, at which time the board will be going on to select a chair and go on from there. So I'll get up to that point. So we'll call it to order, and if you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and then the agenda review. I will just point out that under town business, the representatives from V-Trans will not be here, but we will have a discussion on the District 8 garage that's under construction. Any other changes to the agenda? Okay. All set? Is there any public comment? No? Okay.
Got anybody on? Nobody on the,
Nobody on?
everyone's taking a break.
All right. So, next order of business, the reorganization of the select board and appointments. And the first order is to elect a chair of the Swanton Select Board for the year March 6, 2024 to March 4th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to elect Joel Clark as my chair.
Okay, the motion has been made to nominate Joel Clark as chair of the Swanton Select Board. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Earl Fournier. Okay. Any further nominations? Okay, we'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of to elect Mr. Joel Clark as chair of the Swanton Select Board for the year March 6, 2024 to March 4th, 2025. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Motion will carry. I will now
Mr. Chair.
turn it over to the new chair. Congratulations, Mr. Chair.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you very much, board members, for supporting me as chair. I'll tell you what my plan is to fill out this term through next year and then hopefully run again. But I think it's healthy that we rotate chairs and next year someone else take the chair for a year and we keep rotating it, but that's just a thought that I have. So again, appreciate the support. Steve?
I just have a comment. I'd like to thank Earl for his, you've been in chair for 1 or 2 years, 3 years? For 1 year. I thought you were one of the hardest working folks on this board, and I certainly appreciate your work every day for the town, and when you get up in the morning, the first thing you have on your mind probably is, maybe the second thing, is what can I do to make the town better? So I really appreciate that, Earl.
Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should give Earl a round of applause.
Absolutely.
Okay, item number 2 under reorganization, motions to elect vice chair. Entertain a motion.
I'd motion to elect Earl as the vice chair.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to elect Earl as vice chair. Any other nominations? Hearing none, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Item 3, motion to appoint Christina Candles as clerk for the Swanton Select Board for the year March 6, 2024 to March 4, 2025.
I'll make a motion to appoint Christina Candles as clerk for the Swanton Select Board for the year March 6, 2024 to March 4, 2025.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Item 4, motion for the Swanton Selectboard adopt Robert's Rules of Order for the Rules of Procedure for the Swanton Selectboard for the year March 6, 2024 to March 4, 2025.
So move.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
If the board's okay with it, I am not gonna read the year on each one of these, just for brevity, because unless it's a different time period, which they aren't, I'll go ahead and do it that way. Okay, motion that the Swanton Select Board schedule regular meetings on the first and third Tuesdays of each month at 6 p.m. and that the town administrator should set the meeting agenda and each select person may add to it at their discretion in accordance with state law.
I'll move.
A second?
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve the following list of task representatives for the select board as follows. Highway Commissioner. So I think what we do is we go down through this list and we actually take the vote. Because
Fine.
right now there's no names on it, so.
Right.
Highway Commissioner, I don't know if anyone else is interested, but I am. Done it before and with my background, I am interested.
So move.
I'll second that.
Police rep,
I would,
You're doing that now, aren't you?
yeah, I would like to continue that.
I'll nominate Cody to be the police representative for the select board.
I'll second that.
okay. Recreation rep,
I'm glad they're doing that.
I was, but maybe somebody else would like to.
Probably ought to continue.
Want me to continue it?
I think so.
if you're
Okay.
interested.
Sure.
All right, I think we got 2 people saying yes. Economic development,
Who first and second? You first on that one?
No, we're not voting on them yet.
Yeah.
are we?
Oh, yeah.
we're just
Okay.
Yeah, just
kind of a consensus as we go down through the list.
filling in the blanks.
Well, we voted on the
No.
first and the second one.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't vote, we just kind of did a first and second.
Brevity is appreciated and inconsistency is acknowledged.
Economic development rep,
I think Steve was doing that, if I'm not mistaken.
I guess I didn't, that's fine.
I just would comment that I'd like to, maybe Steve and I could share that together.
Ooh, that's
I think
good.
that would-
I think that would be-
Quite a
That's a
few
good idea.
things together.
Sure.
Steve and Earl,
Mhm.
personnel rep,
I have been the personnel rep, for the last few years, and I'm happy to stay on with that.
see heads nodding?
Yep.
Okay, legal rep,
What does a legal rep do?
when I did this before, we interfaced with our town lawyer on some of the issues. I know Ryan's been doing a lot of that and would look into some issues. If there were issues, didn't leave it all for the town administrator.
I've had a lot of work over the years, working with attorneys and things. I'd be glad to help Brian
Okay.
on that.
Okay? Very good. Animal control,
I've been doing it, and
got a big enough freezer?
You get rid of that dog yet?
it's, yeah, it's getting there.
Are you interested?
Yeah, I'll continue.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
I figured there's probably,
I mean,
No other
I'm always
volunteers?
willing to help if need be.
All right, so we have the names. Now I will entertain a motion for voting
I'll make a
on this
motion.
list of names. Okay, Cody's made the motion. Did I get a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Item 7, motion that the Swanton Select Board appoint Frank Shumway as tree warden for the town of Swanton.
I'll move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
What does he do? What does the tree warden do?
If there's an issue with a tree as far as whether it should be taken down
Oh,
because of, damage or
not
something to the
healthy
tree,
or-
right?
Or
The health of
be
the
on a
tree.
dashboard or
Right.
other
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Motion to appoint Harold Garrett and Nicole Draper as the town of Swanton's representative on
So
the
moved.
Board of Directors for the Northwest Regional Planning Commission. Steve,
I'll second.
Cody. Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? So moved. Motion to appoint Harold Garrett as the town of Swanton's representative on the Transportation Advisory Committee of the Northwest Regional Planning Commission.
I'll move.
Earl? Second?
I'll second.
Cody, second? Any discussion?
Discussion is I'd like him to report back to this board as a representative. I mean, and we talked about it a little bit previously, and then in the minutes, or in the general orders, I see that he's being compensated for that, so I'd like to just make sure that he is being accountable for being a representative for the town of Swanton.
I think that's good, and we could put it on like a quarterly if that seems reasonable to everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right, Brian, can you take that
Yep.
and
Take care of
get
it.
that onto a calendar? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Motion to appoint Brian Savage as the town of Swanton's alternate representative on the Transportation Advisory Committee of the Northwest Regional Planning Commission.
Before, I don't know, Brian, if you really got a hold on that, but I would accept that position, especially with the Route 78 project coming up. It's very
That's fine.
important.
Yeah.
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 That, I probably would attend some of the meetings that were on that specifically, and then we got the 207, Bushy Road scoping study, you know, things like that going on that are very important
Right.
at regional planning, and especially the transportation committee is a starting point for a lot of that, so I would accept that position.
Are you good with that, Brian?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, so I will
One
change
less
that
meeting.
to appoint Earl Fournier as the town of Swanton's alternate representative on the Transportation Advisory Committee for the Northwest Regional Planning Commission.
I'll move.
I hear a second?
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Motion to appoint Carlo McKelly, is that correct?
Michelle?
Michele? Michele?
Michelle.
As the town of Swanton's representative on the Northwest Solid Waste District.
That's a new name. Glad to see new people on
Well,
board.
he's been,
No, he's been
Oh,
here.
yeah?
been there for a while,
Oh, good.
a few years.
I'll make that motion.
I did not hear back from him when I reached out to him.
But
Well, he's pretty,
he does, and he does attend the
Okay.
meeting, so I'm sure he'll get back if he wanted, so I would say.
Nicole, you made the motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? I guess the only discussion I would have is we just follow up if we hear from him. If we don't, then let's bring it back up to
Yep.
another board meeting. Any other discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Motion to appoint the following persons to serve as the town's recreation commission for the year March, or for the town's recreation commission. Betsy Fournier, Alicia Boudreau, Joseph Raleigh, Jason Guyette, Jesse Leclerc, John Nielsen, Sophie Verbeer, and Lisa Wilda.
I think that should be Alicia Bordeaux, not Boudreaux.
Bordeaux.
Yep.
Bardo,
Yeah.
Sophie Weaver, I think,
I abstain from this vote.
right? I'll move.
Second?
Moved by Cody, second by Steve. All those in favor state, or any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye. Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, thank you folks, that went pretty quick. Minutes, February 2024 special select board regular meeting, and if everyone's good with it, we will also do the February 26th, 2024 select board and village board of trustees special budget info meeting.
I'd make a motion, we approve both of those sets of minutes.
And Mr. Chair, if I just mention that the special select board meeting, February 20th, that was a typo. It was just a regular board meeting instead of special.
Okay,
I'll second.
motion made by Steve, second by Cody. Do we have any discussion?
I did just ask that the word under new town business be changed from covering to covenanting, just so everyone understands.
And I will change that before I give the legal size ones to Tanya in the morning.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Town business, election results. Does the moderator want to read them, or does he want the chair to read them?
Whatever you would like, Mr. Chairman.
Tell you what, I will start, and after the first page, we will switch it up.
Okay.
So on the election results, the contested races, selection for a term of 2 years, select person for the term of 2 years, Nicole Draper, 709 votes, Alan Letourneau, 674, total votes 1,383. Congratulations, Nicole.
Thank you.
Select person for term of 1 year unexpired, Joel Clark, 870 votes, Amy L. Raymond, 481, total votes 1,351. Trustee of public money for a term of 3 years, Nicholas Brasso, 745 votes, Stephanie Gagne, 609 votes, for a total of 1,354 votes. What I don't see on here was Earl, and it was,
Those are uncontested.
I'm sorry. Well, congratulations again, Earl.
Brief.
Yeah.
Articles. Article 2, appropriation for the highway department, total votes 850, yes 563, no 287. Article 3, appropriation for fire protection, total votes 851, yes 589, no 262. Article 4, appropriation for police protection, total votes 850, 431 yes, and 419 no. All right,
My turn?
your turn.
Article 5, appropriation for town general expense, total votes 1,328, yes was 792, no 536. Article 6, appropriation for maintenance and payroll of Swanton Public Library, total votes 1,340, yes 740, no 600. Article 7, appropriations for operating budget of the Swanton Public Library, total votes 1,334, yes 798, no 536. Question on the payment of real and personal property taxes, total votes 1,333, yes were 875, no 458. Article 9, appropriation for rescue services, total votes 1,340, yes was 982, and no at 358. Article 10, appropriation for the recreation department, total votes 1,340, yes 827, no 513. And Article 11, relative to the establishment of the capital reserve fund, total votes were 1,344, yes 813, and no 531.
As the sign says on the village green, thank you to the Swanton voters, and I don't know if anybody on the board has anything else they want to add.
I'd like to just say, did you have something, Nicole?
I thought it was a fabulous turnout yesterday. There was a lot of people that came through, and I'm very grateful for all of those folks that participated in the process.
Yeah, and I'd like to say thanks to these, I look at these names, most of them I don't know, that decided that they wanted to run for a position within the town. And I can't commend them enough for taking a step forward. We need younger people, and I'm just pleased that they stepped forward, and I hope we see many, many like that in the future. It's a young man, young woman role now, and good to see.
It's nice to see
Great
people
point.
get involved from the sitting on the outside, and then, even if they win or they don't win, it's nice to see them try.
Yeah, they did their homework, and they made an honest effort, so.
Great. Very good, and then Kathy did a little breakdown of how many people turned out to vote. Total registered voters in Swanton is 4,799. 1,641 in the village and 3,158 in the town. Total votes cast from the town was 935, total votes from the village 579, for a total of 29.6% actually voted towards, say, the general budget, the items that both the town and the village voted. So that was a good turnout from what I hear as far as the numbers. So again, thank you to the voters of Swanton for getting out and having your vote count.
Just one comment on that.
Yes.
The town turnout was very much of an increase over last year, wasn't it?
It wasn't a huge increase. There was, on the bottom, it tells you
Oh.
how many more voters over 2023 we
Okay,
had.
so that number, that,
Was it 199?
yeah, okay.
That's a 25%
That was a
increase.
lot different than what we were talking about, because we weren't sure what.
Right.
Okay, all right, so that is good.
Yeah, it was, yeah. 199 over
Yeah.
736, so that's,
Yeah, it was beautiful.
let's hope next year it's even more, because that's what we need. We need to hear from the people. Okay, next item. We do not have representatives from the Vermont Agency of Transportation, but we are gonna discuss the road intersection up by Bushy Road and 207. As part of the District 8 garage being constructed by the state. I think, Earl, you wanted to start that discussion?
Yeah, we don't have really any written agreement with the state about that road. You know, we've had this discussion about who's gonna own it and all this. And I believe we need to get that done. You know, they're going at a real fast, quick pace to get that done, I guess, so they don't get shut down. I don't know what's going on for sure, but, my thoughts on it were that we should, this should stay a class 4 road.
Now, you're talking about the existing Shoreland
I'm
Road,
talking
or the
about-
little piece that's
I'm
gonna come
talking
out?
right to their driveway, right to their driveway.
Brian's got the
Yeah.
plan, so why don't we open that
I
up?
wanna make
so we
sure
can all
we're
look
clear
at-
on that, because there might be two different roadways going in there.
Don't wanna be-
I mean, right now, the existing class 4 is different than,
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're talking, that's the class 4 existing.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
adding,
this is where, and that right there, the plan was that was gonna be the Showham Road.
this was gonna be the new Shoreland
Yeah,
Road.
and that other one was going away because that intersection, you know, hopefully will get changed.
yeah, they're thinking there's better sight here.
Right, site distance to the, oh yeah.
but we were gonna get permission from weren't we going over some land that was owned by the landowners?
They were supposed to take
No,
care
they're
of
gonna
that.
take care
It
of
is done.
that.
It's actually, I believe when I understand, they've had closing that's taken place on that.
Okay, because as of a couple of weeks ago, it had.
Right, it was only about the end of last week
Okay,
that I spoke to one of the
And-
attorney's offices.
okay,
They were
so
working on it.
that was in process.
As you remember at the meeting, I was quite concerned that we had the proper language. It's almost like trespass over the property to get there, so that we didn't give up anything in the future.
That's right.
I was very concerned about that, so, to a point where, do you wanna bring that final agreement to the board, make
Well,
sure?
Well, what took place last week was they did the transfer
to the state.
before, and until they had access or owned it to it, they can't make an agreement with us until they do that. So I think the next step would be, they would be discussing that with
Right,
you.
right now, they did the land transfer and the easement, is that what I'm hearing? So
Yes.
right now, the state has an easement, which comes down and connects to our class 4
Yeah.
road.
At the end of the construction, when the project is completed, the state, the last we had, they were gonna transfer the easement to the town.
Yep, full and unconditional.
Right, and then, but then we need to, and now I have it here in an email, which you've copied, they will pave this to the state standard,
All the way to their driveway.
to the driveway.
So I mean, part of the existing Showing road will get paid.
Right there, yep.
Yep.
And, so we need now to work out the details, or once they get ready to go here, it's, pretty much who's gonna take care of this road. You know, it reverts to a town road, but they had mentioned that they were gonna plow it. I
I
mean,
remember
the trucks
that.
are all there.
They did
Go.
mention that in the meeting,
But-
they were gonna maintain it.
Right, Now,
So
but
that's what we gotta say,
Put in
okay,
writing,
we
yeah.
want
Yeah.
that, we wanna have, as Steve said, that transfer of that easement to the town. I think we wanna maintain that as a class 4 road, so we won't be obligated to plow it. So that would be.
Or to maintain it
Right, or
as
to
a class
maintain it,
4, so
that's
then the
right.
state would
Yes.
take care of the pavement if
Yeah.
it starts coming apart.
You know.
I mean, that's what we need to put into
And,
some sort of
yeah.
starter letter to them and then get a formal,
And
Agreement.
unconditional, I keep saying that, but unconditional ownership
Yes,
for the town.
yes,
Yep.
and it's gonna be a class
it would be
4 road.
transferred, the easement would,
They will be responsible for all maintenance,
Kathy, is that been
and
recorded?
that does
No, not
not.
yet.
No, none of this has been recorded. And then, the town at its discretion in the future could convert that to a class 3 road, and of course, at that point in time, we would have to be responsible for maintaining it, but
Sure.
that's fine. Maybe we'll have some development there that generate revenue. I don't have a problem, I mean, the state has to have a garage, but it's not gonna generate the town any money.
Do we get pilot payments, Brian, for
No.
that? We
No,
don't?
they don't. The
Well,
state
then that's nice of
doesn't,
them. Yeah.
the state does not give pilot payments, only to this one city in particular gets pilot payments.
Yeah, Montpelier.
so basically,
That makes sense.
what I'm hearing is, from Steve, is he wants basically the easement transferred to us.
Absolutely.
Right, so the easement would get transferred to us, but there would be an agreement between the state and the town that they're gonna maintain that road,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not only just plow it, but also
And they
maintain
will
it.
have no restriction over the present access as it's being used. Because, you know, a lot of farm stuff goes down, and that's still gonna be going on.
yeah.
Good point.
So because we're changing Showham Road over to here, that's still gonna have to take place.
Keep the.
And that's something we need to get fairly soon if
Yeah.
they're starting construction,
Oh,
because
yeah, we need to get this done.
Actually, this is gonna have to have a new road name. Cause it doesn't meet, naming this as Shoalin Road won't meet 911 standard, I don't believe.
why's that?
Well, because the Shoalin Road, it might, I have to look at the map of the entire thing, but it may or may not, but that's, we can fix that, that's not a big issue, but if it needs a new road name, we'll do that, but I do have to look at the entire, map to see where, because, doesn't the Shoalin Road take,
Goes across, goes way over
across.
105.
Right,
Yeah.
but there's a sharp turn.
Yeah,
Like a
there,
left, I
yeah.
think, right?
And that's it,
Coming
right
down.
there, that's the
Boom.
problem with the 911. So,
Okay, well, we'll take a look, and then I would think
Yeah.
we'd want to, down the road, and it'd be a while, is a public hearing and abandon that section right
this
there.
Yeah, there was,
Cause that can be done
yeah,
separate, you'd have to have
Yeah.
a hearing, et cetera, but.
But Brian, can you sometime try to estimate how much tax income we got off that 20-acre parcel? Probably not a lot because it was in the current use and we get screwed on that every week, every year, but let me know what that is, because I'm really offended that the state isn't gonna try to compensate us. That could have been a very good source of income for us, for the town of Swanton. And they just moved in and took over 20 acres, and we don't get anything for it.
right.
So I'd like to know how much we're forfeiting.
How much per acre,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we get?
Right, because there's the other parcel too.
Oh,
40
I know,
acres,
I mean,
that's another 40.
like,
that's
all of our
40 acres.
future income potential is being wiped off the slate
Yeah.
to
Okay,
the benefit of others.
I'll check with the listers.
Thanks.
So do we want to prepare a letter to the state to, that basically says that we wanna start the agreement on the use of this property? I would think that's what we'd wanna do.
Yep, yep.
Do you wanna draft that up? You want me to draft it up?
I'll draft it.
We'll draft
and I
up
can
something.
Send it to you.
And we can take a look and then we'll get it to everybody and at the next meeting,
Good idea.
we'll,
Yeah.
get that letter going, that way it starts, cause it's gonna take a while.
It will take a while, yeah, because it took a while just to get them to get the easement.
we don't, we're gonna have them draft up the agreement, but with these conditions that we're gonna be, that are in the letter. And then they can send it to us, and then we can review theirs, and if we feel we need to get an attorney at that point,
Then
then
we get an attorney, yeah, yeah, that would,
Yeah, we can work that piece out.
yeah, yeah, we can do
Some-
that, work it out.
Yeah.
But we'll start with the letter, and we'll have that ready for your next meeting.
Any other discussion on this project? Okay. Item C, under town business, town plans and projects for 2024.
I included a listing, I did that similar thing to last year. It's a working document, it just, it can be added to or taken away from, I don't care. We adjust it as we go, it's in no particular order. Obviously, the short-term ones at the top, the last bullet listed storm sewer connection to the library, that's probably gonna have to happen first. I mean, that's in the priority to get it done. And then the rest is, as we go along. I talked with Kevin that, it's time to start, the road commissioner and he need to go out and take a ride and figure out what you wanna do for paving.
Well, you'll get on that.
So that I can get the documents done and get the bids sent out. Same, well, Kevin or Kevin's men, or a combination thereof, on the Swanton Hill project, the owner of that property, they've been to the house and they're not there, and we don't have a phone number for them. So we'll keep trying to make contacts, so we get started on that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, we're gonna have to get some legal, work done to draw up the easement,
The
or
easement,
whatever we need.
yeah.
If you get started on that pretty quick, it ain't gonna happen this year.
No, it's gonna,
And then we may need to do survey, right? If we're doing an easement, probably gonna have to be surveyed.
They got a drawing.
they got a
of it
drawing
already,
done
don't
by
they?
Tyler.
Okay, Tyler's already
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
Well,
Gotta
we
get
got
an attorney to draw it up.
draw up the easement and, given the location, the extent of the work, when we did the BB Road culvert and when we did the McQuam Shore culvert, well, the McQuam Shore culvert, I prepared the easements. And the BB Road, my predecessor, David, did the easements, prepared them. But this is pretty extensive, I mean, you're blasting it really. I would, we'll see what, I'll talk with Tyler, but I would say, yeah, we'll probably need to get an attorney to do that, but we'll see what Tyler says.
if you talk with him on the phone, that's great. If he comes in person, I'd like to
Yeah.
sit down, if you could give me a heads up.
Yeah. Brooklyn Street, that's minor in comparison to what Swanton Hill is, but that'll still need some preparation and the project to start. You notice it doesn't say put out to bid. Again, talking with Kevin, and last summer he was quite comfortable, I think, could do it himself, but, again, we have another discussion before making that final decision. And then the rest of the stuff, longer term, I had the email today from the engineering firm on the 4th Street property. They said, well, if it's all right with you, since it appears that winter might be over and they think the frost is pretty well out of the ground, they probably can get started if it's all right with us. I said, go right ahead and get started, I said, at this point. And then, of course, we had the stormwater permits on Country Club Estates and Robin Hood Drive, which is ongoing. We had the meeting here last week with the owners of Country Club Estates. The roof icing issues, the Swanton Public Library, of course, continuing always economic development work. The LVRT trailhead.
Some good news on that is the environmental paperwork, they thought it'd be sometime later in April, has actually been approved. So I have a meeting next Wednesday to talk about some more details. So for our next meeting here, hopefully have some good info on actual dates that we might be getting this thing out to bid. The final drawings, I'm picking up a set of them tomorrow down in Burlington, so it's moving.
Then of course, look for any applicable grants for projects. Continue development of the Swanton Community Center and 911 compliance, and anything else anybody wants to add to that?
Did I hear that our rec commission was gonna meet with the Abenakis to talk about any joint plans they might have or efforts for the community center? What did I hear?
I hadn't heard.
I, as the director of the rec department, have a meeting set up with their events committee to discuss their events and planning collaboration, but not anything about their cultural center.
Okay, good, that's good. They're pretty active up there. Yeah.
One thing I would like to add to this list that I passed out, because I've heard concerns about facilities and facility condition. And I sat down real quick and just started a document, and if we want to continue with it, I'll continue working on it and ask for input, and there may be some other things we need to do to be able to fill this out, but basically want to create a facilities maintenance and preservation plan. You got a copy there of what possibly looking at. Facilities, I just started a list. We have another that we should put on here is like that culvert up on Berry Road, because that's a significant dollar item. But a list of our facilities, and then a little overview and executive summary, which I didn't type anything in yet, but the executive summary would take a look at what the costs are over 15 years and what priorities are. And then just by building, on page 5, I just put the town office and the different things we could look at on the town office, note the condition, and like on the interior, let's just say the flooring, if we thought the carpet needed to be done in 5 years, we would put that down, estimate the cost of the carpet, and then stick it on that 15-year sheet that I have there, starting on like page 2. And then we'll take a look at the other things related to this building, the heating system. 20 years is about all a boiler's gonna last, 20 to 25, depending on what year they were built and purchased and how well they were made. So we can put an anticipated year, we think we may have to change a boiler and a price, and then we put that all on and we can take a look and figure out, where the nice thing is the voters approved the 25,000 per year, that's just a start.
Yeah.
But we get this in a document that's on a Word document, and when we fix a roof,
Yeah.
we update it. And it's gonna take a while, it's gonna take several months to fill this in, but I think that way we can get a handle on our facilities and a level of comfort that we're taking a look at it, actually I wanna jump back just real quick, like what I did real quick under the 15-year plan. I put a boiler for the town office in 2028, and that we can move and change, I just threw a price there right now, but one thing I know is 2034, that might be 20 years of when we put the shingles on the Railroad Museum. And we know shingles last around 20 years, so we can estimate a price. We need to be planning on spending that kind of money. And this is what we could do to get a yearly plan, and I think we can do most of that ourselves.
Thank you, I think this is well done, and it definitely, I think, is gonna help us manage our assets.
Yeah, this is just, we gotta fill it all in,
Yeah,
but we'll do sheets like that for each building. Some of them will be quick, the town garage isn't that old, so it's,
So at the rec department, we have something similar that we.
yeah, so we can
started to do.
fill in for the rec department
That's,
and
that's really good.
piece it all
And we
together.
update this yearly.
Yeah, I would think we would go through it yearly and
Yeah.
decide for the year, like
Yeah.
tonight,
Things come up.
what we're gonna pay for that year, and then it turns out if, that we check a couple years prior to when we think a boiler needs to be done and it's okay, and then we just push it down the list a couple years and,
This is over and above the reserve fund that we're going to establish.
that might be what,
We can draw from it if we have to. in
if we have to,
emergency. Yeah,
right,
okay.
yeah. Just to give us a way to
We
take
might
a
find out that 25 is.
pretty low,
Yeah,
yeah. And
Gotta start somewhere though.
yeah, metal roof, we know how long a metal roof should last, and anyway, I think we can,
Good idea.
It's a great,
Good.
The one thing that, that's gonna bring up is, you know, like Steve said, like you said, Steve, 25,000 is, a year isn't gonna probably really cut it over the long run for everything we're gonna need to do. And I don't know, I guess we're gonna have to start seriously considering this local option sales tax. And maybe designate some of that money for that purpose and still raise something on taxes, so that we have an adequate fund to actually address things.
yeah, and I think
But
that's,
I would add that to the list for 2024 is to get a sales tax proposal together,
Yeah.
so that can be presented.
Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion, Earl, and one of the things that I would really emphasize is that we don't wanna use the local option tax to meet operating expenses.
That's
Correct.
right, that's right.
It would be, here's where it could go,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that way it never comes out of the taxpayer's pocketbook, and we don't end up like we had with all the COVID funds, where some towns use them for operating expenses, and now they're in a corner. So, that ought to be right up the top of our discussion, the limitations of the funds.
if we get this completed, this will help sell.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
right.
This would
absolutely.
help sell why we
Yeah.
need to generate that.
Yeah, if we got that, and then we got the facts on the, on the sales tax, and, we got it designated for a certain purpose, then I think we're gonna have support for it.
Right.
Sure.
But yeah, we gotta do
Yep.
our part to sell it, so.
One other thing I think we really need to add, and we should get this done, and I talked a little bit with Ryan about this, is that tax sale property.
Yes.
Around town garage, that needs to get
Yep.
resolved, before it starts changing hands too many
Yep.
times, and who knows? My suggestion would be that, and I don't think it costs us a lot of money, but if we got that guy that did the surveying work for us to just do it in his office on he has on his computer right now, we know what we want for around the town clerk's office, it was 150 feet is what we agreed upon. I mean, not town clerk, but the town garage.
Yep,
The school has already put their markings on there. There's a little bit left that has to be put on there because of the road. And then we can take a look at how much land it actually is that we're gonna have left over. And then we can go to Brian and say, hey, look, this is it, we gotta make up some kind of decision.
yep, yep,
And at that point in time, we can make a decision to give the land to the school. We gotta do something
Yeah.
with it. It can't just keep sitting there in limbo. It's been dragging on for over 2 years.
So do we have the info we need
yeah.
do we need some money for that, or?
Well, it's just gonna be whatever they.
Yeah, it shouldn't take them too long to
Shouldn't.
put it on a
Yeah.
CAD map and then
Yeah.
have it so we can go to Brian.
I'll call him, and set up an appointment, with him, and we'll do it. Let this, cause I dealt with the school district, cause, I know they hadn't called him the last I checked with them, so, or with him, so I'll give him a call, and we'll set up.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Getting that done,
Yeah.
it really should, and then we can go out.
Yeah.
and try to see
So we
if
know
can
just
get
how
this
much
resolved.
land we're talking.
Yeah, we'll know exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay.
And this list tonight, it doesn't have to be all complete, as people think of something that we have that might be urgent, we can add to it. I don't know if anybody has any more for tonight. Nicole?
The only thing I think that I would like to add or just talk about is more of a personnel standpoint. As we've here at the table had some questions about what our entity, or our, not just our staff, but our appointed officials are doing, having some sort of job description available on our website so our taxpayers or our residents know exactly what, I know we have an ordinance for an ACO, but having just an understanding of what they should be doing there, or the tree warden, even the representatives for, the town in general, but as well as the town administrator, the zoning administrator, just again, to educate our residents on what they can expect from their officials or their members of the town hall.
Would you be interested in putting together just a list?
Absolutely.
Not the duties, but just the list we're looking for? Cause I think we can go into the files
And should
and
be-
find some of it based on, we used to do annual
Yeah.
appraisals. And the part of that had a list of, you know, so we may have a fair amount, but if
Sure,
you come up with that list and we'll
absolutely.
use that as a starting point.
Yep.
Okay? Earl?
Well, some of these things that I think should be reported back to the select board, updated every meeting.
I fully agree. We should have
You
a,
know, and a specific list, things like the property around the town clerk's office, we ought to get the status of that every meeting, so, that thing needs to keep.
Town garage.
Yeah, town garage, excuse me.
Yep.
Needs to keep moving. The issue at the library for that drain, that needs to get done too. And it doesn't look like it's as bad as, cause the drain that's for the library, are you sure it's in the church parking lot, or the library has a little parking lot there? That's the
No, it is the church farm.
Oh, it is, it's damn close to the line, but anyways, those things we should be reported on, updated us so we know what the status instead of letting them, just to keep them moving.
Yeah.
yeah, why don't we take this list, both the short term and the long term, have it on our agenda, and then just the select board members and or Brian, if they've got something to talk about, one of those items, that way we're at least looking at it, and then someone might say, hey, you know what's happening with 4th Street?
Yeah.
But if we actually attach that every meeting,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
we see that list as a little
Yeah.
job.
I'm suggesting the two, I said, the drainage issue in that library, just to get that resolved.
Yep.
So we're not worried about illegally pumping water out of there. And that property up by the town garage, something, and those aren't things that we gotta budget hundreds of thousands of dollars for, we just need to get them done. Except for I don't know how much that drain is gonna cost, but.
Well, it shouldn't be too bad, I wouldn't think, so.
And, yeah, I'll come walk over to the library with you too,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
grab Kevin.
We will grab Kevin and we'll.
Take a look at
go over
that.
and Take a look and,
Okay.
It's just one other question, which I really appreciate this, Joel. What kind of momentum are you expecting this to take? We're gonna report on it at every meeting or quarterly?
I think we need a couple months to gather info,
Okay,
and then we start putting it on the agenda and talking about it. I would like to, we're March now, April, maybe in May, see where we are gathering that info, because some of these buildings will be, I think, fairly easy to go through, and some we won't have it all complete, but I'll spend a little time walking
so
around
you're
some
talking
of
about
them.
60 days,
Right,
see some action?
yeah.
Yeah, and I think when you tour these buildings, let us know. I've probably been in all of them like you guys have, but I wouldn't mind going through when you do the tour or the inspection to complete this stuff,
sure.
yeah.
I think that'd be great. The more
And-
eyes, the better
And
the
open to the
understanding, and we need, like the bridge.
Yeah,
We need to have a real serious discussion on that bridge, and
Yeah.
and maybe even talk to the state about sending one of their inspectors up, just to talk about bridge maintenance. Cause how do you paint that? How do you scrape that without that going into the river and getting
Yeah.
people all excited, so.
and
Yeah.
maybe when you post these inspections, you could put it on our website, if the public came in, I think it would be great. The public toured some of these facilities to see what we're talking about, what we find, so. And I don't think we want a crowd, but
Right.
at least it'd be open for their inspection.
And I would encourage everyone to take a look at the list of properties. That was just what I came up with on my own. I'm sure I've missed something. So, if you think of it, something else to add to this, let us know. We'll add it, and that's the nice thing about a Word document. We can keep adding it.
Yeah, and we probably wanna add the athletic fields, although I think you guys probably
That
cover
would be
that
the-
direct, you do that anyways.
I think that would be considered the recreational facility,
Okay.
and we do that as a standard operating
be
procedure,
the
but we're happy
field,
to
okay.
include that in.
All right. Good job.
Okay. moving on,
Well, one more thing I think we really need to discuss is, the police issue. Even though it's been decided, we're all set for this year, we got approval, but, I'm sure that the village is gonna have some kind of discussion of what their options are. And it might be important to, I think it is very important that we let them know up front if we have any interest in moving forward with them, to come up with some kind of alternative plan to what was presented, to provide more police coverage in Swan, if it's possible.
You're talking about,
Or say, look, we're gonna stay with the contracts because that's all we can afford.
the other thing too, Earl, I think that you're on a good point here. I think we need to improve the communication.
Oh, yeah.
As they develop some alternatives or options, I really hope that they communicate with our chair and with you and with Brian. It seemed like it was a surprise to me, and I'm not sure it might have been a surprise to everybody else.
go ahead, Cody, and then I want to jump in.
I had some goals, since I kind of was appointed as police rep very late into the year, so I have some goals this year to keep constant communication with the chief and the village manager on office matters and stuff like that, and I'd like to start doing pretty regular ride-alongs and any kind of, just sit-downs with the chief and stuff, just to see what they're talking about and what's going on, keep finger on the pulse.
Good.
I intend to get up to the village office next week, now that we've had this meeting, and just have some discussion. I do think that right now, talking about any changes to the 70-hour is a little early. We went and sent a letter to the trustees, which I have here, that said, Select Board informed the audience we're in support of 70-hour coverage. And that's what we had voted on. And then we actually sent a note to the trustees as well, to the citizens and to the trustees, that's what we're asking for. And as they, just going up and talking with them and getting a feel for what they plan to do and come back and have some discussions. But I don't wanna, in front of the public right now, talk about too many changes to what we just told everybody in the public we supported unanimously, and they approved. There's a lot of anxiety out there and angst about that.
I want to make sure they can fulfill that.
Right, and that's something we would check, and that's what they told us they could.
Right.
And we need to hold their feet to the fire, what they're gonna do with that extra money they get starting 1 April.
And
And I think, right,
you have a copy of the proposed
Right.
draft of the police services contract, not to be signed tonight,
Right.
but for you to review. And then on the meeting of the 19th, if everybody, or if you got any changes in between, let me know so I can let them know. But then if it's set to go, sign it on your meeting on the 19th.
Are we discussing that right now? No, I didn't know if we were gonna discuss the police contract, or we're just looking it over right tonight.
I thought, just look it over tonight.
Okay.
Wonder if somebody calls for a revote. They can have call for a revote on that article, separate article, couldn't it? Because it's really close, I'm just
Right. No.
considering all the possibilities. If we sign a contract, are we still obligated to it?
Is there a time period when?
Yes, there
It's
is.
30-day.
30 days?
I'd have to check on, I know I have to see what the statute is
Yeah.
on revote of budget items.
Yeah,
'Cause we're only 12 votes apart.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's pretty close.
Somebody could say, hey.
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, we would have to look and see. I know it's, if you're buying say you had a vote to buy a new truck or something, that's 30 days. And, it takes a petition to come in, signed by the X percentage and all that. But on a budget article, I just have to check the statute.
could you do that and then send us an
Yeah.
email, just so we're aware of it, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
how many signatures it would take to ask for that? No, I
It's the
understand.
same to get on the ballot, isn't it? Like
And again, I think it's important as board members, what we said we unanimously supported, and we show support for that right now.
Let the dust.
And it's gonna evolve, over time, it's gonna evolve, and what is their plan B? And I hear different things about plan Bs, and,
Right.
but that's theirs to come out to the public and talk to, and we stay working with them because I think we all unanimously said we fully support
Absolutely.
everything that they've done, and I know, yeah, we've had that conversation of very happy with what
Keep us in the
police
loop.
department's
Yeah.
doing, absolutely.
That's your job, Cody.
That's the goal, is to stay, you know, have good communication with them on a constant basis.
Yep.
And, yeah, take a look at this contract, I see
Yeah.
you got a few notes and share them with us. Anything else? Okay, then we will move on to the, I believe, liquor control. Any other necessary business? I'll hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to exit our regularly scheduled select board meeting and now enter the liquor control board.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
We are now in the liquor control board. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, Kathy?
Actually 5, because Wesco has 2, but
Okay,
I'm the same.
you wanna run us through
The
these?
first one, Iron and Ale at the club, we have Lindsay Hunt and Chris Castor, who are operating that at the country club golf course in Swanton.
Oh, wonderful.
So
Welcome.
they have applied for a first class, a third class, and an outdoor consumption permit. Basically, it's their wine, beer, liquor, and then they have a cart that goes out on the course and make sure.
Keeps everybody
everybody's-
hydrated.
Yes.
Exactly. So I
Okay,
asked them to come because they're new,
okay,
so I should, like you requested, anybody knew you'd like to meet.
So basically, the club has decided to run a restaurant in-house as opposed to getting somebody to lease it. We just feel we have a better, for our members, we better hold on what we're serving, and we were fortunate enough to hire Lindsay as their general manager. So she's running the place, she's hired a great staff, so, you know, it's pretty much business as usual, but better, we hope. So, and the club's been around for a long time, so.
Is that gonna be open to the public like it was?
Yes.
So it's, you
Yeah.
don't have to be a member?
Yep, we're hoping to do year round. Our goal is to make this a success and then add some simulators maybe next year.
oh, nice.
So, yeah, we've completely renovated the building and we're excited to open.
That is exciting, because we don't have a very large pool to choose from for people going out and Swanton. Dinner.
Yeah, we'd love to have people be able to come and eat, and even if you're not a golfer, without having to go all the way into the city. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Cody, you could walk up.
I literally, well, listen, Steve. There's a hill.
Yeah.
There's a hill.
What would your operating hours be? Just out of curiosity.
Legally, we can sell alcohol between 8 AM and 2 AM. We're probably gonna be open for lunch at 11, unless there's tournaments, in which case we will have golfers there at 7, but obviously we can't serve alcohol until 8. We can serve food before that, and likely the kitchen will close around 9,
Okay,
maybe a little later on the weekends.
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
Yeah, we're excited.
We're really excited.
A lot of work's gone into renovating that building, so
Good
it was
deal.
sorely needed. So
Very nice.
we're excited.
Any other comments? All right, next one, Champlain Farm, 2 locations.
Just a quick, are you gonna do catering or anything like they did before? That's-
In-house catering
In-house
mainly.
catering mainly, okay.
Yep.
So you do
What was the
events
check,
there?
140? Right? Yes, we are. We're gonna do events. Yeah, with the new space, we're hoping to get a lot of people that wanna hold their events there. So we ripped out the carpet, we've done accent walls
It
and
looks
new
beautiful.
lighting.
You
Yeah.
posted some great pictures on social media.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When are you open for the year?
That depends on you guys.
Oh,
So,
Gotcha.
we had a preliminary food inspection today, passed with flying colors on the cleanliness, have a couple little maintenance tweaks to make, and as long as everything goes correctly, it should be April 1st at the latest.
Good.
oh,
But in
that's,
the next
Come-
couple,
Come
we're
on.
hoping to have a few soft openings in the next couple weeks, as long as we have all the legal stuff taken care of. And April 1st would be definitely hard to start, but we might open a little bit before then.
do you have your contact information? Could you-
I can give it to you, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Not a card on me.
Actually, we have a email for the restaurant.
You do?
Yeah, it's just at ChamplainCountryClub.com. And that's just me who gets those, so.
Eat at ChamplainCountryClub.com.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, the next one.
Okay, so you're all set?
We're good?
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris enjoyed 2 hours here on Thursday.
Oh, that was
night.
fun. I'm sorry I was so rowdy that
He wants to
No,
stay.
your enthusiasm of wanting that water was great.
Hey, we'll take all the water you can give us. So, thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Have a great night.
Take care.
Good luck.
Okay, so the next two, it's Westco, but they own the two Champlain Farms locations. It's a second class for beer and wine, tobacco license, and tobacco substitute endorsement. There's been no violations.
What two locations got?
It's the,
Interstate.
down here on the corner of
Yeah.
Canada
Canada
and Grand Avenue.
Where Bob's
and then
was.
Up
Yeah.
under the interstate.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then North Country Bait and Tackle, they have a second class and just a regular tobacco license. And Caitlin's Creations, they have a second class, once again, that's just beer and wine, tobacco license and the tobacco substitute endorsement, and there's been no violations.
Can I make a motion for, just to encompass all of them, or do you need them separate?
I think we can do them all. Oh, I don't know why not. It'll be recorded as
I'll make
that.
a motion to approve all 5.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and second to approve all 5 liquor license as presented tonight. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Motion to come out of the liquor control board?
I'll make a motion to exit the liquor control board and re-enter our regularly scheduled organization.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. We are now in our regular select board meeting correspondence.
Well, I got one thing under other business was the.
Okay.
On the, in your packet, again, just for review, and we'll do this at the next meeting. This is the obligation of ARPA funds recommendation.
Oh, yes.
And so I've got an email dated January 17th from Katie Buckley of the Kathy and I on, she's from the VLCT. And then there's the VLCT recommendations that explain it. And then there is an opinion from Chris Goulet of AM Heish, our CPA firm that does our auditor, as to whether they feel they're comfortable with it. So, and then there just a proposed resolution that you'd have to sign at the next meeting to meet what needs to be met for that.
All right, that's something we
Do
need.
that, and, Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be done before the end of,
The recommendations by the end of March, and that's a big deal, because we don't wanna lose any of that ARPA funds.
that's right.
All right, so, everyone, please take a good look at that and,
Any questions?
be ready to,
know.
so you'll have that on the agenda item.
Yep.
And then I wanna have on the agenda item as well, a discussion of ARPA funds, not the obligation of it or the commitment of it, but just
Yep.
an ARPA fund discussion.
And then economic development.
Okay.
Well, I did meet sort of individuals who are going to be opening a restaurant in downtown in the former Champlain Theater building. They've signed their lease. And they hope to open sometime in May, so.
That's great news.
Exciting news for
That's-
Swanton.
Yes, big time. Yeah, that'll be,
Yeah, so that's, that's what we got for now, and the other aspect on that too, I've reached out and I'm waiting to hear back from Cathedral Square Housing on just having their rep come up and talk to see about what, if they've ever looked at Swanton and whatnot. I know they have, but they were looking at a specific property that they determined wasn't suitable for them, but I just would like to talk to them and see just what are they looking for.
And what we're looking for,
Right,
or not for,
right,
yeah.
right. And so that's also in the works, so.
On our next meeting, is that when the animal control, report and police report, is that our next meeting?
Yeah, we can have it next.
Is there any way we can ask Jim to come in to a meeting?
I can ask him, you know, if he's not working.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm wondering, Steve and Earl, if there's anything we can do to help support that restaurant? As a select board, I don't know, just if we think of something,
Well, I'll probably be eating there.
well, I know I plan to do that too, but, I don't know if they're gonna have any grand opening or anything.
Well, I assume they would, but, you know, it's, right now, they're trying to get
Yeah.
things all taken care of.
Maybe through Brian, reach out and talk with them, or, I don't know, just be nice for them to know that way, we're very interested in their success and,
Yeah.
all right?
Mr. Chair, before we move on, I'm just thinking about going back to the priorities for 2024.
Okay.
Where do we stand with the revolving loan fund?
Still waiting on the order to state.
Can that be added to that list to make sure that that doesn't get neglected?
It is, and unfortunately, under this, they throw another curve in, because this was done with housing money. The grant that we got this revolving loan fund from was for housing money, so any application now has to be tied to the 80% for Swanton median income. So there's an income requirement on there, so they can't have income greater than 80% of the Swanton median income as published. So that could,
Is that in iron, or can we modify that?
oh, this lady at ACCD said there's a grant requirement on that. Well, I didn't know that, that's new. So here we go again. I'm gonna say this, those revolving loan funds are an absolute pain in the neck.
Oh, I agree with you. I've watched them for 50
Absolutely.
years.
They are just, the one they have at the village, they have, it's just they give out lower amounts, but they agree, it's just a lot for the benefit, it's really,
Minimum.
they make the granting agencies look good.
They all try to lend it the same. I've watched
Yeah.
them for years.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a good idea. They cause a lot of problems with people's credit scores after when they fail.
Yeah.
And there's one behind every tree for every reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we want to be extremely cautious going into these things.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Extremely cautious.
what you're saying is we couldn't use it for businesses then?
Well, we can use it for business if the principles of the business meet that income requirement. And I can't really get into an open session what my conversation was the other day, because I know
What kind of
there.
dollar amount are you talking about? I mean, 50,000 a year, 60,000 a year,
I
70,000?
actually have to look it up, but I think, it was in the feasibility study and I think it was like 81,000. But it's no more than 80% of that 81,000.
64.
That kind of limits, people. But there's a fairly significant amount, but again, I'm not comfortable talking about this in open session, so we're talking about people's income, so.
Yeah, we're not talking about any individual, we're just talking about income in general.
Now,
No,
but
right.
I can give you a reason, I can cite an example, but
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I don't know, I mean, if it's that bad, why don't we just give them the money back?
It's not a bad idea.
You know,
It isn't gonna do what we really wanted to do.
let me, I can look to see if there's any ramifications of that, but other than that, we do
Give
have
money,
that.
give money back, usually people don't argue with
We do have that one application out there that's still been pending for a
I know.
while. And they,
It has
I
been
think again, we're gonna talk specific on an
Yeah, I know, I
application.
understand that, but.
Yeah, let's put that
Yeah.
on for next meeting
Yeah.
to have the discussion of where that application is and then
Yeah.
whether we wanna
Yep.
go forward or not. And we'll
Yeah.
go into executive session
We
to
should
talk
get
about
that
that.
done in all fairness to the applicant.
Absolutely. Okay, anything else? Public comment? Under public comment, I just wanna thank our employees for the long day yesterday. That was a marathon, as it is every year, but up there before 7 and there long after 7, well into the evening, and they're here today for another long day, so hats off to you folks for
Yep.
your efforts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all the ones who aren't here right now tonight.
You're welcome. It's always interesting. Working the polls, always interesting.
All right, I think upcoming events, I'm supposed to defer to Nicole on that.
Oh, thanks, Joel.
That's awesome.
Upcoming events, Sunday, March 10th, 2024 at 2 a.m. We will welcome daylight savings time again, spring ahead. Wednesday, March 13th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. will be our planning commission meeting here at the town office. Tuesday, March 19th, 2024 at 6 p.m. will be a regular select board meeting here at the town office and by Zoom. Wednesday, March 27th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. will be another planning commission meeting here at the town office. They're working on the zoning bylaw update, so very important for a community to be a part of that process. Thursday, March 28th, 2024 at 6 p.m. will be a DRB meeting here at the town office. April 1st, 2024, dog licenses are due. Please visit your town clerk to register your dog.
Please.
Please.
Thank you. Executive session, I don't believe we have anything for tonight. I will entertain an motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn at 7:12. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Keith, we had that new restaurant.